Hello, my name is Jacob Meyer, and I am doing my security tool presentation on Rahash2. So, what is it even? What is Rahash2? So, Rahash2 is a hashing tool. It is included in the Radar 2 malware reverse engineering toolkit, and this is in Kali Linux and Backtrack. So, it's out there. It's known. It's in the tools available on those Kali Linux and Backtrack. So it is capable of hashing only part of a file, a box of a file, or the entire file. So, which is really nice because some tools don't have that capability of being able to only hash part of a file. So that's really nice to be able to do that with this tool. So and it supports the following hashes. So Rahash2 supports MD4, MD5, SHA-1, SHA-256. There's a whole string of them. They're listed right there below. They're also listed once we get into the help menu in our Kali Linux box. You can see them listed there as well. So this isn't the only place. So okay, so why use it? Why would you want to use this kind of hashing tool? Well, first of all, we kind of need to take a step back and look at what hashing is. So hashing is a one-way process where it transforms data, and it really shouldn't be able to revert it back from the output to the input. So once it's hashed, it shouldn't be able to go from output to input. People find ways to be able to do it, but when it was designed and when people thought of that idea, it was not supposed to be able to be reversed like that. Unlike encryption, where it's a two-way process, unlike hashing's one-way process, encryption is a two-way process of transforming data that can go from output to input. So it goes from input to output, and it can go back from output to input. So there's the difference between hashing and encryption, where hashing is used for integrity purposes and encryption is used for confidentiality. So by integrity, we mean if you change one value in a phrase or a file before it is hashed, then we get the hash value. If you change one value, so if you had the phrase or the combination or a string of numbers of 1, 2, 3, 4, if you hash that out using hashing algorithm, and you came up with this long string of nonsense, it looks like, if you did that again with the same phrase but changing that 4 to a 5, so going 1, 2, 3, 5, that new hash value is going to be completely different. So that's always kind of out there and everything. So that's what makes it completely unique, where hashing values are complete unique. It has to be the exact phrase when it's hashed with the same algorithm to be the same thing. Otherwise, one letter, one character off, it'll be completely different. And encryption is for confidentiality, obviously. So why use it? We kind of, since we know what hashing is and kind of the background on it and why it's important, we can now discuss what it's for. And it's important to use hashing when you're storing passwords, confidential information that, is sitting in a database somewhere. So if it's breached or something in that database, people can unencrypt things, a lot easier than unhashing them. So, and it's tamper-proof in the sense of if someone tampers with a file or something, because that hash value will be completely different, like we just discussed on the previous slide. So in this, what we just talked about really discusses when it should be used to, not just why, but when. So, okay, so how to use it? It doesn't require that much work. There's a lot of questions that you may have, but hopefully the demonstration kind of clears them up. So here we go. Let's get started. So if we jump over to our Kali box, there's two different ways you can really access Rahash2 easily. You can access it by going into Kali Linux from the applications menu, and you can go to forensics and go up to forensic hashing tools, and right here on the bottom we have Rahash2, and we can click on that, and it'll open it up for us in the terminal. Give it a sec here. Okay, here we go. So Rahash2 lists our options and everything. So I'm going to close out of this, and I'm going to open it up with a terminal real quick to show you another way to do it. So let's open up a terminal, and we can stay right in our root directory here, and we can go Rahash 2 and then just throw out the help flag, the help option, and it'll do the same thing for us. So those are two ways to open it up and to decipher it that way to open it up. So we have our usage, we have our long string up there just showing us how you can apply the flags and the different options. But I'm going to just quickly run through the options. So the A option, or the A flag, it's just how you're going to list the different algorithms that you want to use to hash the file or the string that you want to hash. So then we have the B option, the lower B and the upper B. The lower B specifies the size of the block. So if you wanted to break a file apart and hash only part of it or something, that's how you would specify the size of that. And then the upper B option just shows the per block hash, so what each block is hashed as such. The S option / flag, you can, instead of doing a whole file, you can just do a string. So if you just had a string that you wanted to hash and see what the value was, you could do it that way, just listing out the S option and then listing out a phrase that way, or a password or such. And then we have our F and T options, where we can start hashing at a given address or stop hashing at a given address. So that's always nice as well. And then we have our R option and we have our V option. And the R option just shows the above commands, and the V option just shows the version of Rahash that we have on our machine. So, and then there's our algorithms again that we listed on my PowerPoint. So to get started, I'm going to quickly exit out of this, or minimize that. And I just, right before we started, I created a test file. We're just going to throw something in there quick, and we'll hash that to show how the hashing process really works. So in the file, we're just going to go with a random string of stuff, or of information. So we'll go with this is a test, and we'll just list out some numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to save this, and we're going to exit out of that and maximize that. So what happens is, to give this demonstration, we're going to go with a basic example just to get started here, and then we can show how to verify that. So we have Rahash2, and we're going to go with the A flag to list the algorithm we want. We're going to go with the SHA-1, for example. And then we are going to list out the file that we want. So the file that we want, we're going to change our directory to the desktop real quick. Okay, so we're here, and we have our Rahash number 2, our A SHA-1, and then we have our file name, which is test. So what this should do is it should use the SHA-1 algorithm to hash the test file that we have. And there it is. Our hashed value is right here. Now, to show that this is in fact encrypted with SHA-1, instead of it just saying that, there is another tool on Kali Linux called hash identifier. Now with hash identifier, what we can do is we can copy this string, this hash value. Copy this hash value, and we can paste that in here, and we can actually check to see what it possibly might be hashed with, just to verify that. And you can see up here with our possible hashes, the algorithms that we have, it says SHA-1. So even another separate program will show that and will verify that for us. So now, even if we were to do another file to show the integrity of it, if we create a new document and call it test2, open that up and say the same thing, this is a test, and then our period, then 1, 2, 3, 5. So we're skipping, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going 1, 2, 3, 5. We'll save that, and we'll do the same process and show that it's not, the hash value is completely different. So we'll just redo the task, but call it test2, And you can see the hash value for SHA-1 for the second test file, which we modified just one number away. It changed it from 0F7367556, A5B9, etc. to DA4B514F. So you can see from there it's one number, one character just completely changes the thing. And we can take that same hash value and retest it with hash identifier and show that it will identify SHA-1 again for that. So we have it entered. Oh yeah, I accidentally clicked it twice. The second one was that D. So yeah, DA4B, and then we had the one up here that was 0F. So you can see that it really changes from just one character being changed. And like I said, you'd want to hash something if you are storing data in a database. You would want to really, to keep the integrity of data at its max, really you want to use hashing instead of just encryption. So this has been the demonstration on how to use Rahash2 in Kali Linux box. Thanks for watching, and